Okay, so for us, am I on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So week 6 class, we have a discussion and we prepared a PowerPoint presentation to share our findings. We are going to share the PowerPoint presentation that we created, all three of us, in a second. And we're going to go over each slide and explain you guys about this week's topic. So Punam, if you could share the screen, we can start.
Are you able to see it now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, now we can. Okay, so that's our PowerPoint presentation. So as to start, hello everyone. Once again, today we will be discussing Tesla's marketing strategies throughout the product's life cycle from launch to decline. This includes how Tesla adapts its marketing at each stage to stay competitive. And the presenters are me, Azdilara, Punam, and Amir. We can go to the second slide. So there are 4 questions that we need to answer for this week's discussion. The first question is about marketing objectives at each stage of the product life cycle of Tesla. So I'm going to start with the introduction stage first. So Tesla aimed to raise awareness about electric cars. And with the launch of the Model S, Tesla focused on showing the benefits of electric cars, such as saving on fuel and reducing emissions. The marketing strategy targeted early adopters through media, PR, and word of mouth, positioning Tesla as a premium innovative brand. So that's the introduction stage. Now can we go to the next slide? Thank you. So on the growth stage, Tesla worked on expanding its market. The goal was to reach more customers by introducing affordable models like Model 3. Tesla also expanded globally to countries with strong support for electric vehicles like Norway and China. The company focused on building customer loyalty through performance and satisfaction. We can change to slide 4. So in the maturity stage, Tesla became a dominant player in the electric car market. The goal was to maintain its market leadership, increase profits, and keep customers loyal. Tesla introduced new features like full self-driving, which is FSD, to stay ahead of competitors and keep its reputation strong. Next slide, please. Thank you. On the decline stage, although Tesla's current models are not in decline, if they were to, the decline stage would involve shifting focus to newer models or growth areas like energy products. Tesla would continue to support its existing customers while exploring new markets, ensuring continued competitiveness. Well, it's good that it's still not declined yet, but if this were to happen, this will be the process. We can move on to the next slide, please. So question number 2 is, well, we did it cumulatively all together, but I'm just gonna explain the introductory stage first. So for question number 2, we're going to delve into marketing mix strategy at each stage, as we still going to based on the introductory stage, and then we're going to do growth, maturity, and decline. So as in the introductory stage, Tesla launched high-end cars like Model S, focusing on cutting-edge technology and sustainability, as we discussed. Tesla used targeting marketing events to create excitement, reaching early adopters and environmentally conscious customers. So you guys can keep on.
Okay, so in growth stage, this is where Tesla truly begins to scale and broaden into the reach. They shift gears by introducing more accessible models like the Model 3, which opens the door to a wider range of customers. But it's not just about affordability. Tesla ensures these vehicles still deliver advanced features and improve battery technology, keeping their edge in innovation. And then price wise, to make their cars even more attractive, Tesla leverages economics of scale to bring prices down. This means more people can afford to electric vehicles, which aligns perfectly with Tesla's mission of uh, accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. And price wise, Tesla expand globally. They combine the convenience of online sales and physical showrooms, creating a seamless and customer-friendly buying experience. You can explore and order a Tesla with just a click, like just a few clicks, or visit showroom to see on in person. Its strategy is to design to meet customers wherever they are. And and in the promotion, Tesla ramps up in digital advertising games using targeted campaigns that highlight key selling points, value of money, cutting edge technology, and commitment to sustainability. So in maturity stage, Tesla finds itself into the thick of mainstream competition. By this point, electric vehicles are no longer niche; they are everywhere. To stay ahead, Tesla diversifies in product lineup. They cater to different customer segment with models that range from the practical family's car to bold innovations like the Cybertruck. And they don't stop there. They regularly update their features like autonomous driving and software to keep their cars feeling fresh and ahead of the pack. Price wise, Tesla gets more creative here, so they introduce trade-in programs to keep current customers loyal while offering seasonal promotion to attract new buyer as well. It's all about staying competitive in the increasing crowded market. So place-wise, Tesla physical appearance also grows. More showrooms and service centers popped up worldwide, making it easier than ever for customers to access their products and get support. At the same time, their online platform becomes more streamlined, offering a smooth, efficient buying process from anywhere in the world. So by promotion wise, Tesla shift its focus to customer retention. They introduced loyalty programs and extended their reputations through word of mouth marketing. We satisfied customers spreading the Tesla story. They emphasize reliability, quality, and a brand image that resonate with both existing and potential buyers. Tesla message to the stage is clear. They are not just keeping up with the competition; they are settling the standard. Let me move to the next slide, Ramya.
So now we can talk a little bit about the decline stage. And as was mentioned earlier, Tesla is not in a decline stage. But if Tesla were to get into a decline stage, here's how we would adjust the strategy, right? So first of all, we can talk about the product. So we would start by phasing out the older models. And so that would include models like the Model S, which is more pricey, as well as the Model X, which are some of the earlier models that came out. And they should focus instead on more popular models that came out recently. So one example is the Cybertruck, which has a very distinctive look, and a lot of people really do like that look, and as well as newer electric vehicles in general. So that would include maybe a new model that is going to be more affordable. There's been talks of that, although it hasn't materialized yet. And as far as the price, Tesla could introduce discounted pricing, and as well as more deals for trade-in and leasing options that are more beneficial to the consumer to clear out the remaining inventory. And as far as the physical location, Tesla would reduce their presence and number of stores in markets that have low demand. So for whatever reason, if you know, in some cities or some states, there isn't as big of a demand for Tesla. Tesla would just decrease the number of showrooms in these regions and not focus on the regions that have strong sales and a lot of interest. And so, for example, you know, Tesla sales in places like California or on the West Coast are pretty high. And they might be low in, you know, some of the other states up north where it's a bit cold and there's a lot of snow and people could have issues, you know, starting their car. And last but not least, Tesla could also focus on the promotion aspect. And so they would focus on targeted promotions that would target existing customers instead of trying to acquire new customers. And that would kind of you know, help them reduce promotion costs while also resulting in new sales because existing customers already are familiar with the brand and its strength. So all they need is just better deals and more reason to continue to be customers.
Okay, so let's move to the next question. So on this section, we're talking about the competition that we Tesla face on every stage. So on introductory stage, Tesla was the first enter as an electric vehicle model in the market. So it didn't have more competition. The competition was very low. So it was one of the very first to focus on electric SUV. At that time, there weren't many serious competitors. So there were just few cars like Nissan Leaf and Hyundai Kona electric vehicle, but it didn't have the same features that Tesla had. So that was a plus point for the Tesla vehicles. So they didn't have much competitions, but Tesla vehicles had much better range, cutting edge technology, and a strong brand identity. Meanwhile, traditional car makers hadn't fully embraced electric vehicles yet, so they were still focused on their gas power cars. So Tesla didn't face much competition. So in growth stage, the Tesla faced like moderate competition. So electric vehicles becomes more popular. Big names like Ford and BMW enter in the market with their own models, and so at that time, Chinese company like BYD and NIO started making waves. They came in with competitive price, fast production, and strong support from the government, which helped them to scale up quickly. So it was a little competition with the Tesla. So to make things even more interesting, startups like Rivian and Lucid Motors joined the mix. These companies didn't just compete; they create more niche in the luxury EV market, bringing more variety to the competition. By this point, Tesla wasn't the only player in the town. They had to start working harder to maintain their edge. So in maturity state, the competition was little high. Where electric vehicles are everywhere. Almost every major car manufacturer has electric models, and Tesla faces competitions from all sides. Brands like BYD dominate the market with affordable options, while luxury brands like Mercedes-Benz and Audi focus on high-end features and premium experience. At this point, the competition is fierce. Many electric cars now have similar features like long range, batteries, smart technologies, and even self-driving capabilities. Tesla is still a strong player, but standing out in much harder than it was in early days. In decline state, the competition is at its peak. New technologies like solid state batteries and wireless charging are becoming the standard, making older models like Tesla Model Y start to feel outdated. Regional companies are also stepping in, especially in emerging markets. They are creating vehicles designed specially for local needs, which adds even more pressure for Tesla. To stay in the game, Tesla will need to keep innovating and adapting to these changes, just like they have done so many times before.
So moving on to question 4, which is how does cultural context as well as location affect the product life cycle stages? And so we can get started by talking about the introductory stage. And so Tesla has marketed different things depending on the region. So for example, in a place like Europe that is eco-conscious and cares about the environment, and there is a big trend there, they focus on innovation, for example, and sustainability, and the fact that they are electric and they're resulting in less fuel being burned and that they are better for the environment. And so this is compared to other markets, for example, where they don't have as many electric vehicles, and then Tesla focuses on exclusivity and luxury, right? And so this will be in markets like China, for example, although now it is a lot more common, but at the beginning of stages, when there weren't really, electric cars in China on that scale, that was definitely a strategy. And so moving on to the growth stage, in the US, for example, Tesla really is focused on performance and technology. So very much, how fast their models could accelerate, in 3 seconds or so, and comparing it to other performance cars, as well as just kind of the build quality and all that. Whereas in China, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of focus is instead on the luxury status, which is very, very important. Prestige is very, very important in the Asian markets. And so that's a big difference. And so moving on to the next slide, we could talk about the next 2 stages. So the third one would be maturity stage. And so in markets where Tesla is already established, Tesla instead actually focuses on promoting affordability and expanding their infrastructural network. And so, for example, here in the US, a big focus really is, the charging network that Tesla enjoys and that many other electric vehicles don't have, because Tesla is the biggest player in the electric vehicle market in the US. And something like a charging network is very, very important for someone who would choose to drive an electric car, and because then they would get what's called a range anxiety, where you're kind of worried that you're going to run out of charge and you're not going to be able to make it where you need to make it. And so in newer markets, as opposed to mature, established markets, Tesla maintains a focus on exclusivity, as we mentioned. So that's kind of a contrast. And so last but not least, the decline stage. So Tesla's not in decline, as we mentioned a few times already, but if they were to be in decline, their future strategies would depend on the regulations of the region, the competition, and they would need to be very flexible to sustain their relevance in different markets. So for example, in places like China, where there's other more cost-effective options, you would kind of need to keep focusing on the luxury aspect, because since you can't compete on affordability, and in markets like the US, where they could compete on the affordability and the performance, that is something they could focus on. And
So
here
we have the references.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's the end of our presentation.